Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has 100 million records sold, including the 8th highest selling album of all time, Rumours. Now, Fleetwood Mac is one of the most important musical acts to ever take to the stage.
Yeah, and while any successful group is the sum of its parts, it's fair to say that Mick Fleetwood is the band's beating heart. After creating the group in 1967, not even Mick could have imagined the wild ride that lay ahead. Fleetwood Mac, the band that provided the soundtrack to the 70s. Formed in 1967, the group hit their stride in 1974 with the addition of Lindsey Buckingham and the one and only Stevie Nicks. In 1977, the band released Rumours. It would go on to be their career-defining record, selling more than 40 million copies around the world. The hype was real.
It would have been naive not to presume that at least people were going to be welcoming initially what music you put out, and then after that there was no way of telling how it was going to last as long as it did as far as the sales.
At the time of its release, Rumours was the highest-selling album of all time.
It's one thing to sell, 2 million albums. It's another thing to sell the most albums that had ever been sold up to that time.
Fleetwood Mac had found fame, fortune and fatigue.
We toured for a year, a solid year. And this is solid, this is no break.
With success comes a degree of cynicism, jealousy and infighting became a part of Fleetwood Mac. But no matter how close the band came to the brink, it was always about the music.
And it's like, forget it. Everything else doesn't matter, and this is where we most want to be.
If you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, where the landslide will bring it down, you can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another day.
Just last year, the full lineup reunited for the first time in 16 years, delighting fans around the world. Meanwhile, Mick Fleetwood has never stopped doing what he does best, banging the drums.
And what a treat, Mick Fleetwood joins us now live in the studio. Welcome to the show.
Fantastic.
You are looking particularly groovy and healthy.
Healthy. Well, it's a requisite. If you want to do this and do it properly, eventually you have to give up part of the crazy life, willingly, So
right.
I keep fit and love to do what I love to do. And in truth, you can't do this at the rate that I do it, traveling and banging around for hours on stage like a maniac. Wouldn't be good.
And drink all night. You can't do it. Yeah, right.
Because you're just back from Byron Bay. You played the Blues Festival.
We did, yeah.
Up there.
2 days, yeah.
How was that?
It was brilliant, totally brilliant. Never done it before. Byron Bay has been nearly 30 years in the making now. Used to be a blues festival, and my band here with me, with Rick Vito, who used to be actually a member of Fleetwood Mac years ago, we do all the old Fleetwood Mac blues material primarily, and a mutual love of blues within the ranks of the band. So that's what we were doing at Byron, and tonight, banging it out at the Metro.
Banging it out. Still banging it out. Musically today, is this a happy place for you? Clearly it is. This is back to the roots, right? This is back to the music that was at the very heart and the start of Fleetwood Mac.
It was 1967.
Yeah.
Peter Green, John McVie, who of course is the bass player, still in the band, myself, Jeremy Spencer, 4-piece band like tonight, and just a love of blues and rock and roll. That's where we came up through the ranks, back in the day when Eric Clapton and a whole bunch of us came out of England and happened upon loving the blues, and it became, we actually ended up sort of taking it back to the States, ironically enough, which was sort of a lost art. Blues in America was sort of forgotten about for all the various reasons, and a bunch of crazy little white guys from England said, hey, you've got a great art form.
What's wrong with this picture? Yeah.
And sadly, most of we just lost B.B. King, and there's Buddy Guy's still around, and John Lee Hooker is long since gone, but all of those blues greats were our mentors, you know.
Okay.
Early Fleetwood Mac. Not many people know that, you know. Understandably.
People must love to reminisce with you about the old Fleetwood Mac days. You've said you were lucky not to kill anyone when you're talking about the rumours period.
Do you mean literally? No.
do you like talking about those days? And
oh, I don't mind. I think the romance of all of that stuff, you have to be slightly metered about it. I think we were very outspoken, almost too much so, and it got sort of romance and, in a way, blown out of all proportion, really, that took away from the interest in our music, which was a little regrettable. But I think you just have to temper it and also learn to say what to do and what not to do with all candor and responsibility, and own the life you've had, and realize you've been very lucky. You know, we've lost a lot of people along the way. So staying healthy is definitely a good idea. I would recommend it.
From the outside, for us, with all the gossip and the intrigue...
Oh, good news. Sorry about that.
What, was it breaking news? What happened?
It is. Jimmy Barnes, an old friend of mine, is coming down tonight.
And you just got word of that just then?
Well, I didn't want to say it on air, because he's coming down anyhow, but, you know, there's a protocol, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, well, oddly enough, we have a protocol in the studio too, and it's strange people can't hold up signs to people. We just had someone floating around behind me with, Jimmy's okay, Jimmy's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah. It was an incredibly interesting dynamic back in the day. You dated Stevie Nicks for a period, and she had been with Lindsay Buckingham, right? Was it this gossip and this intrigue that kept us interested from the outside, do you think? Did it make it more interesting to watch you, to hear the music?
Well, I would have to preface it by saying I hope that was not the reason that you liked our music. I think it...
Did it keep us interested
in... It became... No, I get what you're saying. I think it became a double-edged sword, no doubt. Fleetwood Mac, we wore everything right here in the open. Again, like I mentioned, probably a little too naive in many ways. But it became a very personable... When we walk on stage, they know us. People, they really feel, and they do.
Life, yeah, right.
They know our life. There are some artists that keep very, very private. We were not one bunch like that. So the end result is that it's a great commune. When we go on the road now, we were here about 5 months ago or so, and it's very evident that not only the music now is well in place and people love the music.
Sure.
Praise the Lord and all that. Young people, a lot of young people. But they're more also invested emotionally. So when you connect the two in a concert, as a player, you can't actually ask for a better feeling, because they know
it's
you.
Open. It's open.
And thus we have this thing with the audience, which is quite unique.
You say young people, even like Harry Styles, One Direction, Harry Styles.
Oh yeah,
is
he's
a
my
fan.
best bud. Yeah.
Best bud.
Yeah, Harry.
Does Jimmy Barnes know that?
Yeah, there you go. Well, Barnesy is a legend, you know, here in Australia, and the fact that he did give me the thumbs up and he's coming down tonight.
Good stuff.
We will see you later, Jimmy.
Yeah. So just confirming with whoever that is, Barnes is okay for tonight? Thumbs up. All right.
Thumbs up.
Don't know who that is, that man. Just walked off the street and said Barnes is okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Mick Fleetwood Blues Band play tonight, Sydney, before heading to Melbourne. For all the details, just see our website. Real treat to have you in here this morning.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for having us and all that.
Beautiful. Coming up.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Celebrating Her Majesty.